Yellowstone Season 5 Part B. Rip and Kayce's potential conflict about running the ranch addressed by Luke Grimes. Yellowstone star Luke Grimes addresses Kayce and Rip's potential conflict about running the ranch following the show's Season 5 return. Yellowstone Season 5 Part 2 began by revealing the death of John Dutton, Kevin Costner, off-screen, opening a hole in leadership for the ranch that Rip Wheeler, Cole Hauser, begins to step into. This comes with Beth Kelly Rayleigh seemingly having the most power over the family's heritage, something that could lead to greater conflict as the final episodes continue to develop. Speaking with Screen Rant, Grimes teased possible conflict between Kayce and Rip in Yellowstone Season 5 Part 2, especially since they haven't always seen eye to eye throughout the show. However, the actor does say the events happening in later episodes are bigger than their squabbles, forcing a whole host of characters to join forces. He also expressed interest in the pair teaming up because of how much their teamwork in particular would contribute to the series. Check out what Grimes had to say below. So far, the start of Season 5 Part 2 has seen the characters in Yellowstone grieving John's loss, forcing them to try putting the pieces of the ranch back together following his suicide. At the end of Season 5, Episode 9, Rip returned from Texas, with Beth running crying into his arms, signaling previous confirmation that he will be taking a more prominent leadership role in the ranch. However, it's unclear what this means for Kayce, who may begin to feel more responsibility for the ranch following his father's death. Even so, Grimes' statement makes it sound like, even if Kayce and Rip disagree with one another, they'll eventually set aside their differences in the wake of John's death. Whatever threat is coming to the family and the ranch in future episodes, they'll seemingly have to set aside their differences in order to protect their home and the people around them. While it's still unclear if this will connect to the upcoming spin-off, The Madison, or a continuation of the main series, it does emphasize how this current story arc will likely end with the pair on the same side. Given John's sudden death, we think it would be better for Kayce and Rip to set aside their differences to help make sure the ranch is stable into the future. While this will no doubt prove a challenge for them, especially given the conflict that will undoubtedly crop up, allying with each other might be the only way to save the Dutton family's heritage. As Yellowstone continues to develop its final episodes, the threat teased by Grimes will no doubt show up to push the characters closer to each other. Yellowstone fans have been eagerly awaiting the continuation of Season 5, where the drama of the Dutton family reaches its boiling point. Among the most compelling dynamics shaping the narrative is the tension between Rip Wheeler and Kayce Dutton, two characters who represent loyalty to the ranch, but often see the world, and their roles within it, from vastly different perspectives. Recently, Luke Grimes, who plays Kayce, shed light on how this potential conflict might unfold as Yellowstone Season 5 Part B dives deeper into the Dutton struggles to preserve their land and legacy, setting the stage for conflict. Throughout the series, Rip and Kayce have shared a complicated relationship. Rip, the trusted ranch foreman, has spent his life proving his allegiance to John Dutton and the Yellowstone Ranch. His loyalty is absolute, born from a debt of gratitude after John saved him as a teenager from a life of violence and abandonment. On the other hand, Kayce, John's youngest son, has a tumultuous history with the ranch. A former Navy SEAL, Kayce has always been torn between the pull of his father's legacy and his desire to forge his own path, especially when it comes to his wife, Monica, and their children. Season 5 Part A hinted at growing tensions between Rip and Kayce, particularly as John's governorship has left the ranch's future in a precarious position. Rip's pragmatic approach to running the day-to-day operations of the ranch sometimes clashes with Kayce's broader vision, one rooted in family and cultural heritage. As Part B begins, this brewing conflict seems poised to take center stage. Luke Grimes on Kayce's perspective. In a recent interview, Luke Grimes offered insights into how Kayce might navigate this delicate situation. For Kayce, the ranch is more than just a piece of land, Grimes explained. It's a connection to his family, to his past, and to the sacrifices he's seen his father make. But at the same time, he's not someone who's willing to lose himself in it the way Rip has. Kayce has always been about balance between his duties to his family and his own sense of identity. Grimes hinted that Kayce's struggle to balance these competing priorities could lead to friction with Rip, whose life revolves around the ranch. Rip sees things in black and white. He's about survival and loyalty, no matter the cost. That's where Kayce and Rip could butt heads, because Kayce doesn't always see the world that way. For him, there's a lot more gray area. Rip's perspective. The protector. Rip Wheeler's character has always been defined by his unflinching loyalty to John Dutton and the Yellowstone Ranch. For Rip, the ranch is his identity. It's where he found a purpose, a family, and a home. His commitment is absolute, and he's proven time and again that he'll go to any lengths to protect it, even if it means resorting to violence or making morally ambiguous choices. Cole Hauser, who plays Rip, has also weighed in on his character's relationship with Kayce. Rip respects Kayce because he's John's son, but that doesn't mean they're always going to agree, Hauser noted in an earlier interview. Rip has a very clear idea of what needs to be done to keep the ranch running. If someone threatens that, even if it's Kayce, he's not going to back down. This potential clash is amplified by the fact that Rip and Kayce hold different positions of power on the ranch. Rip is John's right-hand man, the enforcer who ensures everything runs smoothly. Kayce, as the prodigal son, represents a more traditional heir to the Yellowstone legacy, though his connection to the land is often complicated by his relationships outside the ranch. The stakes in Season 5 Part B. As Yellowstone Season 5 Part B unfolds, the stakes for the Dutton family are higher than ever. With John's political career putting a target on the ranch and external forces, like market equities, seeking to dismantle the family's empire, the Duttons can ill afford internal discord. Yet the ideological differences between Rip and Kayce could threaten to do just that. One key storyline likely to drive this conflict is the question of succession. While John has always seen Kayce as the natural successor to the ranch, Rip's unwavering loyalty and hands-on experience make him an equally viable candidate. This dynamic creates an inherent tension, as both men vie to prove their worth to John and the family. Grimes suggested that Kayce's internal struggle could come to a head in Part B. Kayce knows what's at stake, Grimes said. He's not blind to the sacrifices his father and Rip have made to keep the ranch alive. But he's also got Monica and Tate to think about. For him, it's about finding a way to protect his family without losing himself in the process. Possible scenarios. One potential scenario involves a direct confrontation between Rip and Kayce over how to handle a crisis on the ranch. Perhaps it's a dispute over cattle management, land use, or how to deal with external threats. Rip's no-nonsense approach could clash with Kayce's more thoughtful, deliberative style, leading to a heated exchange that forces John to step in. Another possibility is that the two men find themselves forced to work together against a common enemy. While their methods may differ, their shared loyalty to John and the ranch could ultimately bring them closer. This kind of reluctant partnership could reveal deeper layers of both characters, highlighting their mutual respect even amid their differences. Themes of legacy and identity. At its core, the conflict between Rip and Kayce speaks to the broader themes of Yellowstone: legacy, identity, and the sacrifices required to preserve both. Rip represents the hardened, unyielding side of the Dutton legacy, while Kayce embodies its more complex, human elements. Their potential clash isn't just about power or authority. It's about what the ranch truly stands for and what each man is willing to sacrifice to protect it. Grimes captured this sentiment perfectly in his interview. At the end of the day, Kayce wants what's best for his family and the ranch. But those two things don't always align. That's the challenge he's facing, and it's what makes his relationship with Rip so interesting. They're both fighting for the same thing, but they're coming at it from very different places.